Still do 7 NUFC Matters shows for free a week. But if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications options. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatters1892@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Critics attack. It feels like I've been talking to myself again. But it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words, then maybe it's not true. And it feels alright when they come and say to you,
good evening, welcome to NUFC Matters. It is Talk of the Toon with me, Steve Wraith, and Sid is here from Songs from the Attic. How are you, mate?
I'm very good, mate. Yourself?
Very good, very good. Rob will be joining us live. He's in the chat already. He'll be joining us halfway through the show, just after the ads, to chat about music. So I look forward to that. I've already noticed one of the points Sid and I were going to talk about tonight. It's already been mentioned in the chat, and that's Nick Voldemar. He scored a goal last night for Germany. It was the winning goal. It doesn't matter how to go in, does it? As long as it goes in. It hit off the glanced off his head off his back and into the back of the net. But he's getting a lot of stick, Voldemar, and he's had a bit of stick online from fans. He's getting a bit of stick from his fellow countrymen. Is it justified, Sid?
No, it's just sour grapes, isn't it? The fact that he didn't sign for Bayern Munich. I think it's as simple as that. I mean, in 3 years' time, when Bayern Munich stick a bid in from when Harry Kane's gone, you know, and he might go. Who knows? We don't know. I'm sure the tone will have completely changed because I think he's had a fantastic start. I had reservations, not about him as a footballer, because I watched him during the under-21s, thought he was superb, but just reservations in terms of fitting into our style, because he's not an Isak type of footballer. He's a number 10, isn't he? And I've said this before, he's more of a connecting player rather than out number 9. But hey, the guy's banging the ball in the back of the net. You can't do anything more than that. His build-up play is really, really impressive. I thought there was a couple of games, the last 2 games, I mean, yeah, all right, he was playing against that sort of Belgium team who were rubbish Union. But his connection play was just brilliant. He just held it up, passed it, sprayed it around. In the last game, as I say, we looked at the stats and it was 100% pass rate, which is insane from a centre forward. I don't think I've ever known that before. And he didn't touch the ball 3 or 4 times either. He touched it a number of occasions. So, you know, all round, I'm delighted with him. I'm absolutely delighted with him. Yes, Newcastle United are taking a bit of time because they're going to have to adapt to this totally new style of football. Because all we were previously built around Isak as a team to his strengths. And now he's not there, and we have a different type of centre forward, or different type of forward, should I say. And absolutely thrilled with him. Absolutely thrilled with him. He's got a lovely first touch. He holds the ball up well, which is something that we didn't do with our previous centre forward. He couldn't hold the ball up very well, in my opinion. And he's pretty good in the air. You know, he looks pretty decent in the air as well. I mean, he's scored 3 or 4 headers now. And that, if you include the one from the other day, or back, whatever it might be, backers. And then the penalty was unreal. You know, it was an incredible penalty. So, no complaints off me whatsoever. I'm absolutely thrilled with him, and I really look forward to the day when we get our other centre forward to go up and get him to complement them with Visser, because I think they could be really terrific. And I don't buy this Eddie Howe thing of I won't be playing a number 10. I don't get it. Because if you listened to the summer, and I don't believe this, by the way, that he was talking about having both Isak and Ekitike, and that they were going to play it together, well, you'd have had to play one off the other. So it's the same scenario. And I suspect there will be a formation change on occasions when that it's relative. I definitely see that. And he gives us the option to change formation. We've been crying out for it on a number of games where plan B or plan C, plan B is not working, which was normally Callum Wilson. Well, what was plan C? Well, plan C, to break down those low blocks, is to have somebody who's got a bit of skill and who can split the line with the ball and with a pass. And he's got that. Bruno's got that as well. And Tonali's got that also within his locker, but it depends on whereabouts they are playing on the pitch. But for me, he's a 10, and I'm delighted with him. And it really, it's done him the world of good to be thrown in, because he's had to adapt really, really quickly, which he's done. And so I take my hat off to him for that, or my imaginary hat. And but also it's making the team adapt to him much quicker as well, rather than maybe something that might have taken 4 months and loads of behind the scenes stuff. They've had to adapt to him as well, and they're getting used to his style of football, and it's starting to gel. It's starting to get there. So no gripes off me. Well done. Terrific acquisition.
Yeah, good signing. I do think the stick that he's been getting is unnecessary and unwarranted. And anyone who scores an international goal, which is a winner, should be congratulated. So good job. I do agree with you. I do think it's a bit of sour grapes on their behalf. Of course, with it being International Week, your focus can't help but be drawn to what's happening in Sweden, or what's not happening with Sweden. You've already mentioned our former striker of this parish, Alexander Isak, of course, is usually their start turn, but lacked fitness due to his own strike in the summer has led to his drop in form. One shot, I believe, he had last night. Langa wasn't selected to play. He was on the bench, then subsequently went down the tunnel and kicked off. Then calmed down by the time he came to the press conference at the end of the match, and just tried to reiterate what he meant about the system is not working. Really. And then the system wasn't working because the manager, I think, found himself out in his ear pretty sharpish after that. John Dahl Thomason, of course, somebody who was a former Newcastle United player, and it was quite scathing of Newcastle and quite praiseworthy of Isak after all the stuff that had happened over the summer, which I think irked quite a few of us Newcastle fans. But yeah, I mean, I'm not particularly bothered what Sweden do, to be perfectly honest, but I have had a wry smile on my face, I've got to be honest, Sid, about their little bit of fall from grace and the effect it's having on Alexander Isak.
Yeah, I am absolutely in the same camp, and I've got no truck with anything that the manager had said. At the end of the day, there's no, if he didn't agree with what Newcastle were doing, or just keep him out shut. It's come back and bit him in the backside a little bit, hasn't it? Really, and he's lost his job, and Isak's clearly not 100% fit, because we know, and as much as it pains us to say this. And people are laughing, going, "Oh, we've sold him. We've done great." And this, that. He will score goals. We're not stupid. The lad's a proper goal scorer. People are a bit deluded to think he's not going to suddenly bang in 20 goals, because he will. He's a really good centre forward. He's quality. It will just take a little bit of time, maybe, for them, and hopefully a long time. But he's probably cost them with his unprofessionalism, if you like. The fact that he refused to play. If he played for Newcastle and then went, we would have stuck in our crow a little bit, but we would have accepted it. But he would have been fully fit and probably scoring for Sweden, So he's got nowhere to blame but himself. So serves him right. I feel sorry though for Elanga and Kraft as well. Who obviously want to qualify for the World Cup. It is the pinnacle of their footballing career, and the Kraft might not get another chance. So. We'll see. We shall see what they're doing. Their ambition now is to get into the playoffs by the looks of it. And slim chances, I would have said. Was it 1 point they've got from 12?
It's
a big ask. It's not impossible, but it's a big ask.
Yeah, it's not looking good, I don't think, for them. Okay, moving on. We want to talk about Tonali. I was talking about it last night, and you like me, we've done a dream team. You've got your all-time 11. I made the comment last night that I genuinely felt that Tonali now has to go into my dream team. I'm going to have to remove either a Gary Speed or a Rob Lee, and I think a lot of people, after speaking to them on the fans forum last night, were probably going to do the same. So, what's your feeling on that? Is he done enough yet to be in that starting 11?
Absolutely, absolutely. The guy's the one world-class footballer that we've got now. So, yeah, absolutely. He's the best midfielder I've seen in my time going at the club. I don't class Peter Biedzy as a midfielder. He was attacking. He was a forward. He's whatever you want to class Peter Biedzy. He's his own little thing, and he's without a doubt the greatest footballer I've seen at the club. Well, if we happen to keep Tonali for the next 5 years, then we'll have somebody rattling on the door in terms of who could be the greatest player to play for the club in my time of watching them. But at the minute, obviously, it's Peter Biedzy. It goes without saying. Tonali definitely in the midfield. I'd have to maybe change my formation now in terms of what I did. I think I went 3-5-2 or something like that, and I had Nobby Solana would always be in, and I had Chris Waddle on the left, and those two would somehow stay in. But I'd have to maybe mix around with my formation now. Rob Lee wouldn't get in because I think I had Bruno in, and Speed wouldn't get in because Tonali would get in. The only thing that's missing from his game is goals. And I genuinely think box to box, he's probably the best box to box midfielder I've seen since Brian Robson. But he needs to get the goals to be like Brian Robson. Brian Robson was genuinely world class, incredible footballer. You had better combinations like Souness and Terry Mack, who was also box to box as well, of course, but didn't have that sort of tackling thing going on with him. But he was exceptional as well. Let me just say that out there, especially for Liverpool when he was doubled up with Souness, who was incredible. But Robson was his own entity, and he could do it all on his own. And he reminds me very much of Brian Robson. He just needs the goals because he seems to be in the right place at the right time. He's able to mop things up. He's got pace about him. He's able to spot a pass. He's fearless. He's got everything. I just want to see him get 10 goals a season. And I know he's further back. I think he's a gifted enough midfield player where you could play him anywhere in the midfield. You could play him as the holder. You could play him as the one in the middle or the one further up as a 10. He could play anywhere. He's that gifted. And I think after Peter Biedzy, he would be and Shearer maybe, he would be my next name on the team sheet. As an all-time 11. I think he's that good, and we've got to build our team around him. Or if we lose him in 2 years' time to Real Madrid, then I'll hold my hands up and say, fair dues, I can live with that, As long as it's not Liverpool or bloody Arsenal, then I can cope with that. He's that good a player, though. He could play for Real Madrid. He's quite comfortably that good. I think he's in the top 3 midfielders in the world, along with Rodri. Is it Pedri? Is that what they call him from Barcelona? They're the 3. I think they're the best 3 in the world. Is in my opinion. So I think he's heading. I know that we had the debate the other day with regards to Rice. I think he's head and shoulders above Declan Rice. I really do. Because what he does, that Declan Rice doesn't do. Declan Rice dawdles around on the ball sometimes, and Tonali's 2-footed, and very much like Alan Ball used to do. He's literally second touches a pass, and it's always forward. You never see him go back, or very, very rarely. It's nearly always. Sorry, Ian, but it's nearly always forward. He's got everything. He really is incredible. He puts out fires before they've even started. Something's going to happen, then all of a sudden Tonali appears like the man out of Mr. Ben, as if by magic he's there. You think, whoa, where's he come from? It's just remarkable. Caicedo's a superb player, by the way. I must have put that out there. He's better than Rice as well. But yeah, he's absolutely sensational. If he was playing for Liverpool or someone like that, they'll be wetting the pants over him. But because he plays for us, he doesn't quite get the praise that he absolutely deserves. Absolutely.
Yeah, certainly would agree with you on that. And yeah, Tonali definitely makes my dream team these days. I was speaking to Peter Beardsley today. I had a good chat with him. We're just talking about Gaza, actually. Gaza was back on the circuit, back on the scene. Obviously, released a new book called 8 this week. Certainly interesting that he's pushing more about the recovery situation that he's found himself in again, which is good. But
Good.
Gaza as well, just one of those. I mean, he often was in a few people's dream teams this year, but I never felt with Gaza he was at Newcastle long enough to be classified as a Newcastle legend.
I agree.
Still the best player I ever saw play for England, and still in 1990 the best player in the world at that time, give or take a certain Diego Maradona. But he was, and England have never replaced Gaza, have they?
Yeah, after Maradona, Maradona's the greatest player I've ever seen, bar none. And Messi's brilliant, by the way. I'll just put that out there, as is Ronaldo, both Ronaldos. But Maradona, for me, is the greatest football I've ever seen. But Gascoigne probably is the best player I've seen in the last 30 years for England. Rooney at some point could have been up there, but he just didn't quite live up to it all. Didn't quite do it for me, especially for England. But Gascoigne was exceptional. He seemed to be able to spot a pass before he was. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put this out there. I think Peter Beardsley was better than Gascoigne.
Yeah, I would agree.
So yeah, in fact, yeah, Beardsley is the best player I've seen play for England. And it's interesting when Lineker says the same as well, doesn't he, Kevin Dillon? I did an all-time worst 11. I think Dylan made my team, did he not? I'm pretty sure he did, actually.
I think he did, yeah. I think he did.
That tells you all you need to know.
Gaza looks well at the moment, but he's had ups and downs, Paul. But this book tends to focus on...
Great player, though. Unbelievable. Yeah. He could spot a pass. He could do everything. I remember reading Danny Baker's book, and Danny Baker said he was actually sports-wise, he could do everything brilliantly as well. Said he was a great sportsman at anything that he touched. He said he was absolutely immense at all of those sports. Any sport, he could just adapt to it amazingly. So he's clearly had this natural gift. It's just a shame that the way that it's all gone. But hopefully, he keeps his health together and looks after himself. You've got nothing but best wishes for him. I remember talking to him in a bar once. I'm not sure I should tell this story, but I was talking to him in a bar, and he was playing for Lazio at the time, and he had the big hair, and he had Glenn Roeder was his bodyguard for the day. He was out with Glenn Roeder and Chris Waddle in Julie's, and Gaza had the hair and the big earrings, and I said, "Oh, hello, Paul at the bar. You all right, man? Yeah, all right. How you doing?" And literally about 10 seconds later, somebody took a photograph because I was clearly not supposed to be in a bar, and it just kicked off. It was like the OK Corral, at which point I sort of made a quick side movement. Yeah, absolutely mental. But Waddler and Roeder were his minders, I think, at the time, sat at the back of the bar.
What's your take on Rob the designer's message there? He says, "I'll give you a hot take. Prime John Barnes was better than Gaza too."
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? It's a tough one, isn't it? Because there was a time when John Barnes, and people might not agree with this, but I tend to do so. John Barnes was being tipped as being as good as George Best for about 2 or 3 years. And Beardsley rated John Barnes as the best player he ever played with, if I remember rightly, when I watched it. Well, I spoke to him once and he said it was actually Cruyff, but that's another thing. But I think he played with regularly. It was John Barnes, said he was unbelievable. And he, for about 2 or 3 years at Liverpool, about 87 to about 90, 91, he was unreal. He was unbelievable. But you could argue he didn't do it as much for England. But again, I'm going to go back to the fact that they didn't base the system around him. And how many times was him and Waddle, two of the most gifted players you've ever seen, just kept constantly switched around all the time. And, that's Bobby Robson at the time, was the manager as well. And, I mean, they had a team when they had Glenn Hoddle, didn't even get in the team, probably the best passer on the planet. So England probably should have done better than the semi-final, really, in their time. But, yeah, Barnes, it's hard. I'm not going to argue otherwise. Barnes was that good. Yeah, Barnes was that good. So, yeah, fair dues. He was rubbish when he played for us, by the way. He was a holding midfielder at that point. You never give the ball away, though, to be fair, though.
Yeah, he was past it, wasn't he? Really, to be fair, and that was the disappointing thing. Anyway, the one story that we had around the football club in the international break has been Ross Wilson's arrival, and again, worst kept secret at Newcastle in recent weeks. Ross Wilson arriving from Nottingham Forest. He was chief football officer there, but Newcastle triggered his release clause. The terms of his release will stay confidential between the clubs. Prior to joining Forest in 23, Ross was sporting director at Rangers in Scotland. He helped them win their first league title for 10 years, the Scottish Cup, and a place in the UEFA and Europa League final. So that's it now. Another one of those big talking points throughout the summer was the lack of a sporting director and the lack of a CEO. Well, Darren Eales has gone, David Hopkinson has come in, Paul Mitchell's gone, Ross Wilson's come in. So I guess for me, I know you watch the other shows, I think the big thing really about Ross Wilson appointment is that Eddie Howe gets on with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the biggie, isn't it? And he's had a mixed career because Rangers, he wasn't very popular at all at Rangers, but then you look at what's happened since he's left subsequently, and it's gone downhill for them, hasn't it? As you say, he's very good friends with them. If you listen to some of the journalists, and I've looked at some of the journalists online, and they speak very, Henry Winters and people like that, they speak very, very highly of him. The jury's out because I don't know enough about him. I shall be intrigued to see how he gets on. I know the data analysis Suds guy was very, very impressed with his sort of presentation and stuff on the internet and various comments regarding him. He looks really impressive. So it can only add to everything. And let's be honest, when you've come from Notts Forest, when you've had to buy like 20 players in a season, he's clearly used to being able to sort of deal with various agents, and he'll have loads of connections out there. And it's also interesting to see, we must have quite a good relationship with Notts Forest as well, judging by the looks of it as well. Because if you looked at what happened with Spurs during the summer when Spurs went to try and get Gibbs, and Forest kicked off massively. We've had none of that with this guy, and it's all went through very smoothly. And as you say, unofficial, we'll not find out the price and all the rest of it and all the deal, but it seems to have gone through very, very well. And you listen to some of the comments online, and you listen to some of the people who know him. And apparently, he's a really nice guy, spot on, very good at more importantly, very good at his job, very affable. He's not gone in like a bull in a china shop when it's his way or the highway, by the sounds of it. And it's odd, isn't it? Because the last time I will openly admit I was delighted that we got Mitchell previously, thinking, oh, look at his CV, it's immense. And it was a nightmare. It just didn't work. And this guy, not as good a CV, but it may ironically be absolutely perfect fit for Newcastle. And it's horses for courses, isn't it? Some jobs work for you, some jobs don't. And this guy, hopefully, more important, in fact, he's got a good relationship, apparently a very good relationship with Eddie Howe. Hopefully they'll work together as a team, and he'll push us on further on and upwards. So yeah.
What do you think his priority will be, and what do you think his priority should be?
For the next 4 weeks, priority signing Sandro Tonali for the next 45 years, and then after that, the other contracts. Lewis Hall is a priority for me, as is Tino, as is Botman, and then it's up to him and the rest of the squad, the rest of the backroom team, as it were, to work out who they're going to keep for next year and not. And also, of course, what we're going to do in January. We've got a big pot of money. We've got a big pot of money there to go and spend. Go and spend it. Go and buy some players. And I know it might be expensive to go and get players at this time of year, but there might be a bargain out there, or there might be somebody become available. Then take that opportunity. I mean, I've already mentioned the fact that I would break the bank and go get Semenyo, and I'd go and get Elliot Anderson, but that's maybe not possible. But it's up to him to go and deal with what he has to do. So that's the priority. Get the contract sorted out over the next 4 weeks. I know Bruno's been mentioned, hasn't he, of getting like a 5-year deal, I think it might be. Somebody might want to correct me on that. And which makes sense as well. If you get the club captain signed up first and then go and get other players, that also makes sense. But for me, it would be Sandro Tonali would be my first priority. Get him tied down and then get the other players sorted out. And obviously spin a few plates and work out what you're going to do with regards to the January transfer window, because we may, ironically, have a centre-forward back and then he's out in the African Cup of Nations from mid-December. So we need to be prepared.
So the half-term report, really, I think for me at this moment in time, as we come out of this international break, is keep on doing the same, lads. And we just need that little bit of luck in front of goal, don't we? We'll have a look at the two games when we've got through the music section. But it's not a bad position to be in. 7 points off the top of the Premier League, 3 points off the top of the Champions League, and still in the Carabao Cup.
I'll probably argue we're 3 points less than where I think we should be.
We're 6 points worse off than we were last season, Sid.
Are we really?
At this stage, yeah.
It doesn't feel it weird, but we then hit a slump for a while, didn't we? That after that, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
So, and then we went on that massive run. I'm not too worried at the moment. I think we've started all right. We've been unlucky by not having a centre forward. That's really impinged upon the team massively. I mean, the Isak thing's really affected us hugely. Just by the fact that he waited till the last minute. If he'd played a few games, we might have had a few more points and so on and so forth. I think that's really caused issues. Then losing another centre forward's been a huge problem, of course. But Voldemort is settled in really, really well. So no problems with that. Defensively, brilliant, may I add. Brilliant. All of them have stepped up to the plate. Unlucky with Lewis Hall. Unlucky with Tino now, but genuinely terrific. But my concern is the lack of flair up front on the wings. Murphy is still the first choice right winger. And people can go on about the lad, and I'm going to give him plenty of time. I'll give him 6 months before I make my mind up, because I think it can take a while for you to adapt to Eddie Howe's style of football. So by the end of March, I'll go, right, well, this is where I think he's at, whether or not he's a hit or not. And on the left, it's not great. I think Barnes has been poorish. Gordon is neither here nor there. He's all right. As I say, if there's better out there, go and get them, is what I say. And I know people might say otherwise. Gordon's not hit the form that he hit 2 years ago yet, and he's not there. And we've seen him do it. We know he's capable of it. So he needs to sort of pull his finger out a little bit. And, and Elanga needs to step up to the plate a little bit more. It might seem a bit harsh, but that's what I think. And it's noticeable that Murphy seems to play really well once every 2 games, which is not bad. He gets castigated unfairly, in my opinion. He really does. There's always somebody that the fans have a go at, and he often seems to be one of them. I don't think it's actually quite fair, to be perfectly honest. And he's whipped in so many balls at times, and there's been nobody in the box. Nobody just sort of go in and attack the front post. So I want to see more of the wings. I want, if it was like an English report, doing very well, all the basics are there, but I want to see more flair. And it's the same in football. I want to see more flair. I love a flair player, and I want to see more flair. I really do, because flair can unlock the defense, and I think we just need a little bit more of that.
Okay, good stuff. We are halfway through the show. We are going to dip into some music after the ads. A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them at www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find them at their website, mrvickys.co.uk. Email info@mrvickys.co.uk or telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to our fanzine sponsor, United Group Travel. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. 2 crew driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels and no interchanges. Hot and cold snacks and drinks available on the coach, all excursions included. Their website, unitedgrouptravel.com. Email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com. Telephone 01670 632 460 or 0791 666 4174. Just £30 per person deposit. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the technical side of things. And if you like listening to us as a podcast, you can go to Sports Social Podcast Network or to iTunes, Spotify, or other podcast providers. If you want to support the show, then hit the subscribe button. It's free. We do 7 shows a week. Hit the little thumb up under the video, which is the like button, or click share to share to your social media. You can also join the channel on YouTube by hitting the join button for as little as $1.99 a month. If you want to become an NUFC Matters member, you can go to nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk. It's a £25 one-off fee. You get your pen, you get your badge, a key ring, you get your beer mat and your fridge magnet and your membership card, nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk for that. And we have an event early next year, 13th of February 2026, an evening with Beardsley, Waddle and Gascoigne takes place at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House. To buy your tickets for that event, go to the box office 0191 243 1171 or Tyne Theatre and Opera House.uk. And don't forget, we also have an evening with Warren Barton, which is our Christmas do, 21st of November. Tickets are £12 from nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk. And Warren will be doing a little talking with Joe Allen. Get a chance to meet Warren and have a chat with him as well. Sid will be spinning the tunes, and Adam Henderson will be coming along to do a little acoustic set as well. So it's going to be a cracking night. Get yourself along. All proceeds going to Age UK North Tyneside Dementia. Just a couple for your diary for January. Superman and Gibbo are doing one for Age UK on the 23rd of January at the Irish Centre. And Peter Beardsley is doing one with Joe Allen at the Irish Centre on the 30th of January. So 2 Fridays in a row in January. Usually it's a dead month. We like to do a couple of events in January just to cheer everybody up and get rid of the Christmas blues. And both of those events are for Age UK and both available on Voucher now. So if you want to get your tickets or buy somebody a ticket for Christmas, get yourself on there. And I've got to thank Shout Digital who have come forward and agreed to sponsor the print of this book, The Promoter and the Photographer, which is written by me and Singe. 25 years of bringing the stars to Tyneside is a 100-page book with a lot of unseen photographs in of those legends who've come to Tyneside. And there's a page in there from me and a page in from Singe. And it's not the conventional book you would expect. There's some funny stories in there. The way that Singe writes is quite unique. But it's a cracking book. Lots of great stories, lots of great memories, some great black and white photographs. Done in a fanzine style, glossy book as well. But thanks to Shout Digital, they have agreed to sponsor the print of it. So that book's costed nothing, and all proceeds from the book, me and Singe, are given to Age UK as well, which is fantastic. And just a reminder, the fanzine raised £1,902.14. We sold 96 subscriptions of the fanzine this season. Most of you should have that copy by now. It was posted out at the back end of last week. I know Rob got his. But big thank you to everybody who subscribed. And even with just 96 subscriptions, that's the kind of difference you guys have made. So thank you very, very much for that. And it's good evening to you, Rob. How are you?
Good evening. Yes, best player I've ever seen, 100% Gascoigne. And I'll never see the like again. No ifs, buts, no hesitation, Gascoigne.
He was brilliant at Rangers. Absolutely brilliant at Rangers.
Unbelievable. Yes.
Okay, mate, what are you bringing us today? I know you're not bringing us this, the Tunnel of Love. My God. I'm sure that's Rob. I'm sure that's Rob and Sid at the back.
That's right, and we were trying to impersonate Dave Hill from Slade as well. It looks like it, doesn't it? Or Baldric from Blackadder, whatever you want it to be. You know, it's your own fantasy. You know.
Fantastic, mate. Good stuff. But you're not reviewing that. What are you reviewing, Rob?
Today is a thank you to Peter Barnett. It was in my list. It's Toto, 1982, or Toto 1V, as I used to call it. Well, 6 singles off this album. That's 6 singles. I know 2 of them. This is 1982. When I listened to it, it was reminding me of a lot of, sort of the 80s films at the time, and Mannequin and these sort of things like that. And, you know, bright American glossy. Anyway, opens with Rosanna, brilliant song, really, really good song. The drum beat, but Jeff Picaro, his drumming is it's stunning. A bit Gary Husbandish. Really big sound on this, really, really big chorus. I love the organ and the horn section on this. It is a good song. It's Steve Lukather or Lutaker. I think he sings this one, but his vocal tone is bang on in this one. I'm not sure if he does. I've watched it recently on YouTube, and they're having about 2 or 3 singers on at the time. His guitar playing in this is absolutely spot on. It's a really good song. Your track 2 is called Make Believe, piano intro. This reminded me a bit like Miami Vice, not Miami Sound Machine by Gloria Estefan. Again, I've got to be honest, it just sounded American, cheesy. So it sounded to me, you know, that Miami Vice sort of vibe about it. Bobby's vocals really, really good though. Nice middle 8 section, and that's that review on that song. Track 3, I Won't Hold You Back. Piano ballad, very aerial, speedwagonish, nice harmonies. Reminded me a bit of the Bee Gees. It's okay. That's a nice enough song. Your track 4 is Good For You. Nice guitar distortion on Steve's his guitar on this part. Really good, really, really good harmonies. Not much direction on it, but it's a really good mix. And I have to say that the mix on the album is really good. It's not like the same level all the time. You are picking out, you know, idioms of, you know, highs and lows, cymbal pickouts, bass tones. It is a good mix. It really is. And as you can see in the pictures, it's been released, as most things are these days, for anniversaries. Here, track 5, It's a Feeling. A really, really good album by Yes, 90125. A song called Cinema. Reminded me of it. It's a really, really good song. This song, It's a Feeling, is very elegant. So far, it's the best song on the album for me. It's got like a slight Japan, sort of like new romantic, British new romantic sort of feel to it on the keyboard parts. Really good. It's the most experimental song in it, and it stands out. It's a little bit different. I wish they had maybe done like 2 or 3 other songs like that on this album. It would have been a bit more refreshing and kept it a bit more interesting. But who am I? And you've got Afraid of Love. If you turn the record over, you hit side B. This is solid, just smack in your face. Hard guitar and pounding drums. The vocals let this down for me. Everything else is there. Good ingredients. It's got on it. Solid, like really solid. The band Asia, if anyone remembers Asia, to me, I've put this as like it's a poor man's Asia song. Asia Alpha album I used to have, which was okay, but it's a similar thing. It's a similar category. They got Lovers of the Night. This reminded me of My Life by Billy Joel, and a little bit trivia here. I think it was 42nd Street was the first CD ever released. Good vocal effect on this, sort of nice echo and a nice bit of reverb. It's more fuller, it's more open, more complete for me as Afraid of Love above. It's quite a good song. It's a decent song. track 8, We Made It Again. Reminds me of Leave It by Yes from 90125, which is a good thing because you wouldn't expect, I wouldn't, a Toto album to sound like, you know, a Yes, a prog album. But the clarity on it, the sound of it, some just parts of it remind me of it. Again, big American summer driving song, the roof down Cadillac. It's that sort of thing it gives me, you know. And it was one of these songs that I would imagine it being these cassettes you used to get for Father's Day, you know, a double cassette and available on CD from Ronco and all good record stores. Yeah, or K-Tel perhaps.
It was Britannia Music. People used to basically get it off Britannia Music. It used to come, and then people used to copy the disc and send it back before it was.
Yeah, that's right. You bought a CD, and you got 10 free, and your free gift. Mine was always the 4-pack of cassette holders. So
I bet it was a 4-pack of these albums you don't review.
Well, you never know. Possibly. Yeah. So yeah, then you've got track number 9, Waiting for Your Love. To me, it's the best song on the album now. Reminds me Level 42, we have just seen recently. This was a 10 out of 10 song for me. So second last song, it's really like slap funk, bass, soul, blues. It's really, really good. Sid, if you've not heard this, it is really good. Waiting for Your Love, track number 9. They've got number 10, Africa. I think everybody knows this, and it's not about the antiperspirant deodorant. Great song, shocking video. I've put in my notes, Sid, in your Likely Lads gigs, you could, I suggest, you could rework this and do like a gravelly, bluesy version of it. Everybody knows it, everybody likes it, but change it. And talking of suggestions, which I found out yesterday, watching a Gun Club documentary, the late Jeffrey Lee Pierce, I didn't know that he handed Debbie Harry a cassette saying, you should cover this, and it was hanging on a telephone. Never knew that till yesterday. But, yeah, never knew that. But unbelievable. It has been confirmed. That did happen. But yeah, Sid, Africa, that, but your own version, just suggesting. Yeah, so that's my review. It's a good album. It's very bright. It's massively American. It reminds me of Summer Days, dodgy 80 videos, and it's not the top shelf ones. It's, stuff like Miami Vice, all the glitz, the glam, all that, the bad fashions and things like that. But they're still touring. I have watched them a couple of times on YouTube. And, great musicianship, absolutely, undeniable. It's a good album, really good production on it, but it is a good album. And go forward next week will be, I had a recommendation for... Now I forgot. Yeah, Bob Seger. Whoever put Bob Seger on the list. So that's down. I've never listened to Bob Seger in my life. So that'll be interesting. I don't know what to expect. No, that's one of those dodgy videos in the 80s that I was talking about, Steve.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like Bob Seger, so I'm looking forward to that, whichever album it is. But yeah,
I'll dig back and
find out which one it is.
That'll be interesting.
All right. Okay, Sid, what about you, mate?
Yeah, Toto were always the backing bands, weren't they? Like, they're all session musicians with backing bands on loads of albums. Somebody said they were on Thriller. Yeah. I can't remember. I know Van Halen was on it. Town was originally asked to play it, and he said no. He said, I don't think I'd suit the song. He says, I know Eddie Van Halen, he'd be perfect for it. So Townsend recommended Van Halen for it. But yeah, Toto, great session musicians, brilliant.
Yeah.
Incredible players. Right, I've gone with one of the best pop albums of the 1980s, and I've gone with Be Yourself Tonight by Eurythmics, who are one of my favourite pop bands. I mean, I absolutely love Annie Lennox. I thought she was absolutely beautiful. I love everything about her in terms of her empathy and care for people. I think she's just brilliant. Yeah. And it's just full of hits. It's absolutely a great pop album. I mean, they'd already been massive in America with Sweet Dreams got to number 1 in America about a year and a bit earlier. This was 1985, this album. And it features Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, two members of the Heartbreakers, and Elvis Costello. So there's quite a list of musicians on there, and it's just brilliant. It starts off with an absolute banger, Would I Lie to You, which was quite a hit as well. Dave Stewart, great guitar, great drums. Annie's vocals are absolutely brilliant. Her voice is fantastic, really rocks as well. It really does rock, so she can do all of that. And then we have track 2, There Must Be an Angel, Playing With My Heart, which was a number 1, the only number 1 single that they had in the UK. Amazingly, wasn't a top 20 hit in America, which I find incredible. And it was a worldwide hit for the rest of the world. Got Stevie Wonder on harmonica on it, and you just know it's him within a second. And it's just so catchy. It's got that amazing vocal opening. It's so incredible notes. And her voice was just remarkable. What's really sad is this year she got vocal nodules and she had to get an operation and missed Live Aid because of it. Otherwise, Eurythmics could have tore up Live Aid, in my opinion. I Love You Like a Ball and Chain is probably my favorite track on the album. Actually, it's track 3. It's got excellent guitar. The guitar playing by Dave Stewart, my favorite Mackem, is absolutely immense on it. Really brilliant. I love the way that he's mixed it, where the sound goes from left to right and jumps back and forth. It's just brilliant. We've then got Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves, which bizarrely was not a worldwide massive hit. Wasn't huge in this country, wasn't massive in America, sort of scrapes in the top 20s and stuff. A bit like Summer in '69, everyone thought it was like a global phenomenon, and it wasn't a hit, you know. And of course, since then, it's subsequently gone on to be absolutely massive. And it's obviously a celebration of the call to arms for women, you know, in terms of being themselves. And what was great about the song is Tina Turner, I think, turned it down. I think that's the case. But they went to see Aretha, and Aretha was very nonplussed at first. Like, she liked the song, but she didn't know Annie Lennox, which is mad. And she goes, "Go on, then you prove you can sing, girl." And then the minute Annie Lennox opened the voice, she went, "Oh," you know, and realized she was absolutely fabulous. And loved her after that. Just thought she was incredible. It's a great song. It's often on in my kitchen. We've then got Conditioned Soul, which has got lovely pipe opening with a soul groove, almost like a Labby Sifri type of song. Beautiful, dead laid back, lovely little song. And it's got the sort of title track of the album sort of features throughout it. Be Yourself Tonight. Adrian, which is another great song, features Elvis Costello on back-end vocals or dual vocals, where he basically just called into the studio for the day, and Dave Stewart goes, "Oh, do you want to sing along with Annie?" And Dave goes, "All right then." and it works perfectly. They've got such complementary voices. It's superb. What a great lost gem that is, really, as a song. Should have been a single, in my opinion. It's All Right, Baby's Coming Back, which is a pretty decent song. Won the Ivor Novello Award, which I'm absolutely amazed at, because there are much better songs on this album than that. But it's a good song, nonetheless. Here Comes That Sinking Feeling, good song, catchy guitar riff, good drums, quite rocky. And then the last song's excellent, Better to Have Lost in Love. It's like a fast-paced, catchy sort of climactic song, really, really good. I think this is a top draw 5-star album. I think it's absolutely magnificent and gets played quite regularly by me. I love it, absolutely love it. So I've gone with a film, and I thought the film was more fairly appropriate. So it's got the Eurythmics link, although David Bowie was originally asked to do the music for it, and he allegedly asked for more money. I think because he's going to use the Diamond Dogs album. And in the end, they gave the soundtrack to Eurythmics, and it's the film 1984.
That's right.
Which, of course, famously was written by George Orwell, and it was written in 1948, and all he did was switch the two numbers around. So hence the sort of title. And it was released in 1984. Some of the stars are incredible. It was John Hurt, Magic, is Winston Smith. Richard Burton, his last film, actually. And you could tell he really looks gaunt in it, unfortunately. Cyril Cusack, Susanna Hamilton, Roger Lloyd Pack, of Trigger fame. It's a really great cast. It's a really dark, bleak film. So if you want a happy Saturday evening film, this isn't the film for you, folks. If you want to wallow in misery, this is the film for you. It's a dystopian 1984. Winston Smith endures a squalid existence in the totalitarian superstate of Oceania under the constant surveillance of the Thought Police. He resides in London, the capital city, the territory of Airstrip 1, formerly Britain, and works in a small office cubicle in the Ministry of Truth, rewriting history as dictated by the party and its supreme leader, Big Brother. Now, of course, it goes on, and Winston then falls in love with a woman called Julia. And, of course, they start questioning the whole Thought Police and all the rest of it. Yeah. It's bleak. It's got a really bleak ending. It's not They Live Happily Ever After. It's pretty close to the book. The song in it, Julia, is absolutely fantastic, by the way. I love it. I really like the soundtrack. It got a lot of grief at the time, but I really like it. But the song Julia is sensational. It's just sort of distant, lovely vocals, sort of washing over you. Magic. Yeah, absolutely love it. I do Walk on the Wild Side, by the way. It's a great one to do. But yeah, great film. Really love it. If you get the chance to watch it and you want a sort of bit of bleakness, go and watch 1984.
Brilliant. See, before I go, Sid, one of my all-time favourite songs, Here Comes the Rain Again. Unfortunately, it's not on that. They still play it in the Goth Club in Edinburgh. And it has done.
You can see how it fits
beautiful.
in. Yeah, you can see how it fits in.
It's so beautiful. Before I go, Steve, as well, I would like to try and get a bit of conversation in the comments for me. I'd like people to let me know what was the worst concert they've been to and why.
Good one. Good one. Probably Oasis for me at the arena was probably my worst, because was right at the back. It was standing on the shoulders of giants, and there was just a load of drunk blokes next to me and the missus, and she didn't really. She'll never go back to an Oasis gig, put it that way. But it got resolved. It got resolved this year for me. Oasis were brilliant this year.
The worst was a few. Julian Cope, I seen him twice, 2 years up the trot. I went back the following year to make sure he wasn't that garbage, and he was terrible. I have to say, Meatloaf was terrible because he was never in key for the whole gig. And the other one that really sticks out was Jethro Tull. Ian Anderson, oh my God. What's that guy's voice again? You know, when his voice comes in and out with the microphone.
Freddie Starr?
No.
Oh, yes, I know who you mean. Yeah. It'll come back to us. Yeah.
But honestly, it was like that. He's so bad. His voice has left the building 40 years ago. I mean, I'm a big Tull fan, but his voice is atrocious. And I wouldn't go and watch him outside my front door now. So, it probably might well be Jethro Tull when I think about it.
Mine was Sisters of Mercy, absolutely horrific. But, you know, obviously when Craig and Wayne left, absolutely horrific. I thought I was watching, no disrespect, but I thought I was watching like a thrash metal version of Billy Idol. It's the only gig I've just stood speaking to the guy at the merch store. Absolutely horrific. Never again.
Dean's worst gig, Ian Brown at the Academy. He was terrible and the floor collapsed.
That's a famous one, isn't it? Yeah.
That was infamous. Jerry Cinnamon at the City Hall last week. It's Cinnamon, of course. It's one of those alternative acts. It's not the actual Jerry Cinnamon. Good show, just £8 a can of Carlsberg, he said. David Cook says, the mighty war at Newcastle Uni, so loud it was painful. He says, I moved 6 floors down in the Union and it was still too loud. Stephen Kennedy says, are you going to go and see the Bruce Springsteen movie? I am. It comes out on the 24th, so I've got that in the diary. Julian Cope, Teardrops Explode. Greatest solo, but rubbish. Kelly Moran last Thursday in the Newcastle Arts Centre was amazing. 100% loved the gig, says Roger. You got your photograph took with her as well. I tell you who I love to meet. I love to meet Sid, and I couldn't help it this week. I did a little limerick about him. There was a little chap called Sid.
Brilliant.
He liked to make a few quid. He didn't seek fame. Vinyl's his game. Always played a good record. He did. So there you go, Sid. I did a little poem for him. A little poem for him. But Rob, as always, thanks very much. Looking forward to your review next week. We will see you next week, pal.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Take care, Rob. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Great stuff. Let's have a quick look ahead to Brighton at the weekend before Sid goes. Newcastle, of course, heading down to the south coast. It's one of our longest away trips of the season. And strange old place, Brighton, for Newcastle. It really is. Jacob Ramsey's expected to return to the squad. Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento, Johan Wissa remain unavailable. Lewis Miley, at the time of writing, is a doubt. Fabian Shaw remains one game away from a double century of Premier League appearances, while Joe Linton has made 199 starts in all competitions for Newcastle to date as well. Dan Burn has made 149 League and Cup starts for the club. So lots of personal achievements could be made this weekend. Brighton, Solly March, Adam Webster, Jack Hinchelwood all out. Veltman and Karu Matona both should return to the squad following injury. Matt O'Reilly's on loan at Marseille, while Igor Julio has made a temporary switch to West Ham. Brighton are unbeaten at home this season. They've drawn with Fulham 1-1, Spurs 2-2, and they've beaten Manchester City 2-1. Adding in last season, Brighton haven't lost at the Amex in the last 7 Premier League outings. Former Newcastle United player James Milner has made his 643rd Premier League appearance in Brighton's last fixture at Wolves. Amazing career. That leaves the 39-year-old 10 behind the record holder, which of course is Gareth Barry, who played 653 Premier League matches. The referee has been announced. It's Craig Pawson. It's his second game involving Newcastle this season. His last one was on the road at Aston Villa in the 0-0 draw, and VAR will be Paul Tierney. The good thing is it's a good old-fashioned 3 o'clock kickoff this weekend on a Saturday, so no TV coverage. And 8 previous Premier League visits have ended in 5 draws and 3 home wins. something tells me, Sid, this is going to be another tight affair.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got the Champions League game as well next Tuesday, haven't we? So it's going to be interesting to see what the team is. And
we'll probably pre-record our show next Monday before that. So we'll just look at the Brighton game. But yeah, that's going to be in Eddie's mind, isn't it?
Has to be. And I don't think he'll pick Joe Linton this weekend. So I think he'll pick Bruno, but I don't think he'll pick Joe Linton. So it'll be interesting. There will be changes in the team, I think. It has to be really. The lad, I forgot his name now. The lad we got from Villa, he might well get a game. My worry, of course, is Minty against Dan Burn. Although there's talk that Minty is injured and he's struggling to get back. I'm hoping that's the case because I'd be fearful if it's Minty up against Dan Burn. I really would be fearful. And it's again, I keep saying this is not Dan Burn's fault or issue because he's not a left back. Being played out of place. But I fear that aspect. That said, I still think, and I'm going for it, I'm going for a win. And I'm going for 2-1. I'm going to go for 2-1. I just think we've got a little bit of momentum now. Eddie's kept a lot of players back, which people forget. The back line's virtually all stayed home, haven't they?
Yeah.
So he'll have been practicing with the back line all week for the last 10 days or something. So they'll have had plenty of practice. He's probably got one midfielder, maybe even two, who might start. You know, he might get Ramsey and Miley, but I suspect it'll be Ramsey, Bruno, and Tonali, I suspect. And then it's up to him what he does on the wings. I would probably start Jacob Murphy, actually, just due to the fact that Elanga's been away, although it's not been very far. I suppose you could play him. And then on the left, I'd probably still start Anthony Gordon. So, yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to go for a win. I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to stick with 2-1.
There seems to be an air of confidence around people predicting the score for this game at the weekend. So yeah, and I can understand a bit of narrowness. We've got, as somebody said the other night, we've got to start winning a game away from home. So this is a good place to start. We can get a comprehensive win, 2-0 or 2-1 win away at Brighton. Yeah. It sets the precedent for the rest of the weekend. We've got a good run of games coming up, Sid.
We do, absolutely. And I've already said here, I don't think we'll get beaten now up to Christmas. Now I'm going to stick with that. I do think that once you get momentum, it's really hard to stop. And we just started getting the roll. It's a shame we didn't have another game, wasn't it, before we broke up, really. But I really do think if we don't get beat, I think it will sort of kick on a bit, but I would like to see us win, and I think we've got the capabilities of winning. That's why I'm sticking with it. You know, I think we're just due. Law of averages says we're due a win. You know, since that ridiculous goal in 2016 when it came off his backside just about. So we are due a goal, and we are due a win there. 1-1 last year. I don't want to see another 1-1. I would take it worst case scenario. Don't get us wrong, but I'm confident. I'm quite confident that we're going to win.
I hope you're right. We will, as I say, we'll probably pre-record next Monday so we can chat about this game and chat about the Champions League next week. So we'll make an appointment around about the 6 o'clock mark, I think, for next Monday and pre-record the show by Tuesday. But Sid, have a good week. Look forward to seeing you there, mate. Take care.
Take care, folks. Bye-bye.